everyone, and welcome to Bottom Line with Roni and Byron. We're going to get some news to you today, and we're going to start with Tallahassee Orthopedic Clinic partnering with Northwest Florida Community Hospital.
And for national news, we'll talk about how Netflix warns of crackdown on password sharing and what it was going to mean for our viewers.
And then we'll talk sports and mention our local Jade Coleman of Sneads volleyball team signing with a college team.
And also for Around the Town, we're going to talk to Miss Melanie Pope of Upbeat Nutrition of Mariana.
And then we'll switch to our relationship tea topic and discuss how do you prevent people from drawing you into a negative situation. Byron, let's get started. We're going to talk about our first topic. Tallahassee Orthopedic Clinic has partnered with Northwest Florida Community Hospital in Chipley. Byron, as we talked months ago about the saga with TOC and Jackson Hospital, and that whole thing unfolded and it didn't work out. So it seems like TOC has found a new partnership with the local hospital in Chipley. What do you think about that?
It really gets under my skin, Ronnie. It's that age-old story that we tend to keep falling into, that same trap with not having to be able to get any growth and anything and any opportunities coming here. That would have been a great opportunity to have for the city of Mariana and Jackson County. But it's one of those situations where, you know, you overplayed your hand. I think that the back and forth, a lot of it got misconstrued, a lot of it got caught up, and most of these things could have handled, I think, would have been better handled instead of, you know, bringing it to the board, changing the MOA and all of that. But let's see. Hopefully, maybe this is another chess move. Maybe this is a move to get, you know, Mariana back in the fold. I don't know, but I hate it, and looks like, you know, TOC is going to be in Washington County rather than Jackson County now.
Yeah, I'll just kind of do a rewind for those viewers that were not aware, but TOC was trying to establish a larger facility here in Jackson County, located at Penn Avenue and Lafayette Street, which is in that shopping center that's now, you know, vacant for the most part. But there's a lot of back and forth, and, you know, there are individuals that did not want them to expand because, you know, they're already in Mariana. However, they was trying to expand, and there was a lot of restrictions put on them, and they just chose to not move forward with Jackson Hospital. And so now they have partnered with the hospital in Chipley. And so they will open, Byron, starting May the 2nd. A clinical team will be on campus at Northwest Florida Community Hospital from the hours Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. And so if you want to actually make an appointment, you can do so by calling 850-526-33 or 3236. That's 850-526-3236, and you can make your appointment. So just wanted to put that out there and let people know that TOC is expanding. It's just not expanding in Mariana. It is in Chipley. So that is that. I want to mention our local and state news is brought to you by Brightway Insurance. Brightway Insurance is here in Mariana. They're located at 2867 Caledonia Street. And you can get all the insurance needs that you have, whether it's property, life insurance, business insurance. Give them a call at 850-633-3460. And Byron, my next story is Chipola Career Source, or I should say Career Source Chipola. They had a job fair this past week, and Byron, it seemed to have been a success. You know, they had, you know, a lot of companies available, mostly geared towards, you know, high school seniors, just trying to give them another thought process on what they can do besides going to college, you know, to a four-year university. We have to make sure that we understand everybody is not going to be that student at a four-year university. It's just not going to happen. And so you want to give them opportunities. And that's what they did this past week. They had a lot of companies there, companies that we're familiar with, like Catalyst, West Point from Chipley, different fields, whether it's welding, whether it's manufacturing, distribution, all of those were available, Byron. So that was a good thing.
Yeah, another point to be made is everybody, some people like myself need to find a career, something to get into until you figure out what it is you want to do. It may not be immediately going to college, may be something that you see in your vision, but sometimes it takes working at a company for a while. You seeing now where you're at the age you want to progress, you want to promote, you want to come up, rise above in the ranks, and then you decide, hey, I think I want to go to school for business. I want to go to school for whatever, that would elevate me in this field. Or you may bounce around different jobs and now you know what you want to do. So everybody's not ready come out of senior year of high school. Also trades, there's a lot of future entrepreneurs out there that, whether it's plumbing services, whether it's cleaning services, whether it's construction, whether it's lawn services. It's a lot of different trades that are out there that like you say is not just geared towards college, standard college education. So and at the end of the day, no matter what, we've seen in the past, people with 6-year degrees still have a problem, getting employment, because you still need that experience to go on top of it. So yeah, I like that, and I always like to make that point that try to get into something.
They had construction companies there, automotive technology, military. They were just giving them options. Like, you have to consider, and don't believe the stigma around going to trade school, because you come out making anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000 a year. You can do that. And so these opportunities, I'm glad they're putting them at the forefront of our young people's minds. So if you have any questions, reach out to Richard Williams at Career Source. If you missed the job fair, reach out to him, call Career Source, ask for Richard Williams. He is the director over there, and he can really put you in touch, with, the companies that you would like to reach out to. So want to put that out there. And Byron, I'm going to keep it moving and move on to our state story, which is the Disney story. So we talked about this a while back, a couple of weeks ago, about Disney, being their own self-governing entity. Most people didn't know that, but when they took a stance against the Don't Say Gay bill, it came out. And so now Florida legislators have passed a bill, and that was just this past week, a few days ago, that would revoke Walt Disney's special tax status, in a move to wildly kind of, punish them for the stance they've taken by, Don't Say Gay, which was limiting what you can discuss in school between kindergarten and third grade as it relates to sexual orientation. So I think, this is a chess move like you and I talked about, and it's going to be interesting to see, it'll go to the governor's desk, and he will sign it because he's all for, putting restrictions and just basically boxing in Disney and taking away some of their self-governing power. Byron, that vote was Republican led, 70-38. That was the vote.
Like I said, the Republicans run the House and the Senate, and it's pretty much, as long as there's no, opposition within the party, it's gonna get passed pretty much. But I think this is something that is not a result of the parental rights and education, also known as the Don't Say Gay. But I don't think it's a kickback from it or pushback from it. I think it's something that the state has been wanting to do for quite a while, at least to Republican Party candidates are wanting to get done for a while, because that deal that Disney got is kind of like one of those, deals that you like, there's no way, something like this would ever blow up. But Disney, that's a deal that kind of, gonna have to pull back on it, and hey, we'll see what happens out of it. I know there was mentions that the consumers would take a bigger hit as a result of this new bill, this passing, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe they realized that, hey, we gave the Walt Disney just too good of a deal that we might have to pull back on that, and it took this long to get it done. I don't know.
But I still think it was a pushback from the stance at Disney. Let me read this. The law that was just passed would eliminate a handful of special tax districts, including the Reedy Creek Improvement District, that covers about 25,000 acres in Orange and Osceola counties. That structure makes Disney, which is one of the state's largest private employers, and other landowners responsible for providing services such as firefighting, power, water, and roads. They in turn get relief from taxes and fees. So, and that's supposed to take effect June of 2023, Byron. So there you go. But I still think, I know what you said, but I think it is a, like a pushback from, look, y'all making too big of a stance. You're not bigger than legislation, and you need to abide by everybody else's rules. That's what I think.
I don't, like I said, I disagree, but I think that it may be the what is it, the straw that broke the camel's back, and might be, everybody would have let, hey, look, and now you done went to, I'm tired of it. You know what I'm saying? We've been wanting to get at you, but now you didn't gave me a reason type deal. So but yeah, it's a flex. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that, Yeah. I just hope it don't break. I hope it don't cost $300 to get a 3-year-old in the Disney.
Well, it's getting there. It's expensive to get into Disney. It really is. Crazy. But that's for our local and state news. Our local and state news is brought to you by Brightway Insurance. Brightway Insurance can provide you any type of insurance needs that you may have. Give them a call at 850-633-3460. That's 850-633-3460. What do you have for national news, Byron?
So for national news, before I get into it, I want to talk about People's Funeral Home. Because they care, they're here when you need us. Long Granbury Funeral Services Incorporated, doing business as People's Funeral Home, Mariana and Battle Mortuary, Panama City, offers services that is within the reach of all. Their caring staff is available 24/7 or when the need arises. Their services are designed to commemorate the life being remembered at a price being suitable for all. So please give Cephas and Gwen a call at 850-482-2233. That's 850-482-2233. Or you can stop by for more information. That's People's Funeral Home. So for national news, my very first story, I want to talk about Netflix. Netflix is warning of crackdown on password sharing. And I know for a lot of people, including myself, they just didn't made the party end. So they're going to start charging a password sharing fee and introduce a cheaper ad-supported plan after losing subscribers for the first time in a decade. They're thinking that this juggernaut of them that they're losing customers are attest to them losing when they block doing anything with Russia and Russia subscribers. But it also may be, a part of, it seems like, to me, it's like every month Netflix is going up, $5. They're going up again, $10, so you have a lot of people saying, hey, yeah. So that, and so, but, and at the same time, you want to implement it's kind of like you're going backwards, all the other companies didn't, started out with no ads, then they end up with ads, and it's like, all right, now nobody wants ads, so imagine watching Netflix and in the middle of a film, an ad pops up. Well, that's why we don't want, that's why we get, no cable, things like that. That's why we subscribe to things like, so we don't have ads.
Right.
but you'll still pay more for it. So that's their option. They said they're actually going to start testing this crackdown on countries like Chile and other, South American countries. Test it out, get all the kinks out, and then I guess that's when it'll really take effect in the States. As far
So
as
how do you think they're gonna roll that out? So say for instance, you have a password and then I use your password at my house. Is it based on location? Like how are they gonna monitor that?
well, according to Netflix, they're putting out that they've known, all this time that people are sharing the passwords, and they've allowed it because it brought more people to viewing Netflix.
Yeah.
And now they're gonna crack down. Hey, look, I'm not the tech guru. I don't know how they're tracking people sharing them. Maybe it's pinging from where the location where the
That's what I was wondering. Like
someone
how would
uses
they
it.
do that?
But
Yeah.
if you can use it from a phone and watch Netflix from different locations, I don't know how that works out. But that's how they're putting it out, that they've allowed this to happen for all these years because it brought more people to Netflix. Now they want to crack down. So it currently boasts 221.6 million users. And they're trying to flip that. Also, as I mentioned, they're gonna have ad-supported services. They're also talking about pulling back on content spending. So all these big Netflix deals that a lot of these celebrities and directors are getting for shows and films, they're talking about pulling back on that spend growth across both content and non-content spend. So they're trying to be smart about it and see if that helps. So be on the lookout for Netflix cracking down on you. If you all of a sudden get a red flag and say they notice that you're sharing password, then don't blame me. I'm just giving the message.
Just the messenger, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
for
They
letting us
shoot the
know that.
message. So my next story, Ronnie, you probably will like to hear this. FAA makes zero tolerance unruly passenger policy permanent. So the FAA said that it will make its zero tolerance policy against unruly airline passengers instituted amid the COVID-19 pandemic permanent. They announced this past Wednesday as a federal judge struck down the Biden administration mask mandate for travelers on the airlines and public transportation. So following that order, they're basically saying, hey, you're gonna start. It's gonna be real charges gonna come with this. Behaving dangerously on a plane will cost you. That's a promise. Acting FAA Administrator Billy Nolan said in a statement, unsafe behavior simply does not fly, and keeping our zero tolerance policy will help us continue making progress to prevent and punish this behavior. So this was in November when the FAA announced it was working with the Justice Department to bring charges against unruly passengers. And as of February 16th, the FAA has sent 80 such cases to the FBI for criminal review. Under this policy, the FAA proposed $5 million in fines last year against unruly passengers. So it's coming. They ain't playing no more. So I hope
Well,
that gives you
I'm
some.
glad. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad. The reason why there was a lot of times the during the pandemic, they were getting unruly because they were, against wearing masks, which brings us to this updated story that now Florida has struck down the CDC mandate on public for wearing masks in public transportation, like airplanes, buses, and trains. So Florida is no longer required to wear a mask in public transportation. So, so the Florida federal judge struck that down. So now, of course, Biden and his camp is looking at it to see what kind of options that they're having. The CDC is really against it. People are kind of squirming, saying this is, really not the right decision, especially now when numbers are going up again. And so, but I was going back to your point. That's where people was getting irate for those few that did not want to wear masks, on the airplanes. So now they don't have to. If you're going to Florida or, traveling in Florida, you don't have to for now anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah, if you're gonna wear it. I look.
But you know what?
Being in those tight spaces, I'm I'll be perfectly honest with you. Being in those tight spaces, I wear mine just because I don't. And it goes back to people, before the pandemic. If you got diagnosed with the flu, at the clinic, didn't matter where it was at, they gave you a mask, told you wear it. So I think people just got off into this whole hoopla of not being want to be told to do it, and it just
that's
took
what
its
it is.
own legs.
But
So
there was a lady they talked to, and they were saying how she, just got comfortable flying.
Yeah.
Visit her mother. You saw that because she has leukemia, and so she's flying now because she's wearing masks, and then she knows everybody on the plane is gonna wear masks. But now she has to backtrack, and she can't fly anymore for that reason. Especially when it comes to Florida. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just tight spaces. I agree with you. You should wear your mask.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Well, just another little side point. There were nearly 6,000 unruly passengers reported last year, with nearly 4,300 of them related to masks. So far this year, there's been more than 1,200 unruly passengers incidents, nearly 800 concerning face coverings. So that's just a little side note on that one. My last story, or next to last story, Mike Tyson, my man Mike Tyson, he can't seem. I remember when I was, younger, and people would bait Mike up because he'll fight. He'll get mad in a minute, and the next thing they sue and win $1 million settlements. But I hope that's not the case, but it don't look good. So Mike Tyson repeatedly punches man on a plane. This is according to TMZ. To be honest with you, if you get a chance to watch the video in full, I'll show a little piece of the clip here. But if you look at it, the guy is clearly, drunk. The witnesses, they tell that Mike the guy wanted to take a selfie with Mike, and then he was just overly excited. He kept, just aggravating, just talking, just drunk talking. And Mike got tired of it and just started throwing punches at the guy's face. So it shows a little cuts or whatever. But on the video, you never see him strike. So maybe it's another one out there. But as of right now, they're saying that the man, he did go and go to the police. So we don't know if his charge is gonna be filed, and Mike Tyson will get charged with assault. But as of right now, he got suckered into another fan or whatever, and now it's look like Mike may go in another legal battle. Hopefully not, though. He had such a good resurgence over the years, and Mike's my guy, so I like to see people come up. And another follow-up story. DJ, I talked earlier this year about the famous hip hop DJ K Slay. He was battling COVID and complications of it. DJ K Slay, 55, he dies after long COVID-19 battle. He's a legendary New York DJ. He was hospitalized back in January after contracting COVID, and he succumbed to a lot of the COVID-19 battle. So a lot it's been pouring support and condolences coming out from everybody, from LL Cool J, Jay-Z, all of the famous celebrities that done work with K Slay, and just sad to see it happen. I mean, 50 Cent, Raekwon, The Lox, Mobb Deep, the Diplomats, Eminem, one of my favorite groups, 8 Ball MJG. I mean, it's just never ending. But sad to see it go. So rest in peace, DJ K Slay.
Okay.
But other than that, that's it for national news. Before I step away, I want to mention People's Funeral Home again, because they care. They are here when you need us. Long Granbury Funeral Services Incorporated, doing business as People's Funeral Home, Mariana and Battle Mortuary, Panama City, offers services that is within the reach of all. The caring staff is available 24/7 or when the need arises, and the services are designed to commemorate the life being remembered at a price that is suitable for all. So please give Cephas and Gwen a call at 850-482-2233. Again, that's 850-482-2233, or simply stop by for more information. That's People's Funeral Home.
All right, we'll move on to sports and we'll start with our local sports story. And we're going to congratulate Jade Coleman, who is a Sneads Lady Pirates volleyball player. She has signed with Florida Southwestern State College, which is located in Fort Myers. So congratulations to Jada Coleman. She's actually a libero and defensive specialist. So she's part of that championship team under Coach Heather. And we are so proud of you, Jada. And we are saying congratulations and we wish you all the best. So Jada Coleman has signed with Florida Southwestern State College in Fort Myers. She'll be continuing her education there. Yeah. Awesome. So we're going to move on to, yeah, that's awesome. We're going to move on to also another signing, Shalomai Sanders. Now we call her Bossy, but Shalomai, actually, it's Shalomai Sanders. We call her Bossy. She's actually Deion Sanders' daughter. And she signed a basketball scholarship with Jackson State University. So she's going to join her two brothers who, Shiloh and Shador, who plays football there, and she'll be playing basketball. She's a shooting guard, and I'm told she's pretty good. So the family will add another addition to the Jackson State University family. So congratulations to Bossy. Yeah. And then I do want to go ahead and mention the situation with Brittany Griner. Now, we haven't talked about that yet, Byron, but we'll go ahead and talk about it today. Brittany Griner is the basketball player, WNBA basketball player. She was over in Russia playing. She's a gold medalist, and she was detained at the airport in Russia for having, allegedly possessing some type of cannabis derivative in her possession while she was in the airport. And so she's been detained, I think, since about December. And there's a growing concern, Byron, because, this is in the height of all this chaos with Russia. And she's looking to face about 10 years if, she goes to trial and they prove her guilty. So it's not a good situation, Byron. Not a good situation.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to me because we hadn't seen any images of her, we hadn't seen video footage, and like you say, 10 years, if she did 4, that would be good, I guess, in the eyes of the Russian authorities. So and that'll be 4 years too much, that'll be 6 years, whatever it may be. I hope we can have some type of, diplomat. Maybe we need Jesse Jackson back when he got those the people from out of the Middle East that time. But somebody needs to get her back home.
It was actually mid-February. My bad. It was mid-February, not December. Yeah, when she was detained. Yeah.
But I'm worried. And that's the thing with me. I'm like, man, we haven't seen her. There's no footage of her, not to say that she's not alive or anything like that, but I'm just saying, you never know what person or what version of Brittany Griner will come back, yeah. And with Russia, with this war going on and things like that, you never know. So the longer she stays over there, it brings a lot of worry and caution to what's actually going on, because we don't know. We only know what they tell us. So.
Yeah, well, it's an unfortunate situation. There's a couple of things I want to talk about this. So let me just give you the basics of why she was detained. They searched her luggage at the airport and revealed vape cartridges that allegedly contained oil that derived from cannabis. Translation: oil that derived from marijuana. Okay, so that's why she was detained. This was mid-February. She was over there because she plays with the Russia team during the off season when she's not playing over here in the States for the Phoenix Mercury. Now, this is why I want to go with this. Byron, why do our players have to play in 2 professional leagues? You know why? Because they don't make enough money over here in the WNBA. So most of the WNBA players play overseas to make the money.
Yeah. I got frustrated thinking about it, because I was like, I get, if I hate the fact that they have to do that. But if
Yeah.
you're gonna play overseas, like Russia, I like, Russia, I would advise, we don't have that good relationship with Russia, but
They've been doing it for years.
um,
They've been doing it for years.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. And
yeah,
so they probably didn't think nothing about it.
no,
And then too, we don't know. These are all allegations, but you can't, when you get in trouble or something like that happens in another country, you can't apply our rule of law to another country.
that's
So once you get caught up, it's like, we can't do nothing. But try to handle things diplomatically as much as they will allow. So that's the thing when you travel and go to these other countries, don't think that your American rights and freedoms transfer with you wherever you go. Now you in somebody else's backyard and anything can happen. So
yeah.
um
The
just let that be
a lesson learned, huh? Yeah, but she's not the only one that have played for Russia. I mean, Diana Taurasi have played 10 years over there, and she made a comment. She's like, she played 10 years there, so she knows how things work. It's very delicate. Now that you haven't seen a whole lot come out from the WNBA because they've been told not to say anything because they don't want to antagonize the situation because it's such a delicate situation being, what we're, in now with this whole Russia-Ukraine situation. So they're trying to play it very delicate. You don't see a whole lot of people coming out and they've been told not to do that. And that's why, if you're wondering, why haven't they said anything? They've been told not to do that. Brittany Griner, 6'9" center. She is a, openly gay female, and they're afraid that that's playing a part in this too. African-American gay female at that. So there's two things that they're afraid of that's playing a part of that, that, maybe working, not in her favor as well. So we'll just keep our eyes open on that. But Brittany Griner, is still in Russia. I think her stay supposedly was extended to May 19th as far as being detained. So I don't know if it keeps being pushed back or they're waiting on some type of trials to be set up. I'm not sure about that, but she's still there as of today. Yeah. So that's unfortunate. Yeah. All right. And then I'll move to my next story. I want to talk about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving recently got fined $500,000. No, it wasn't. It was $50,000. $50,000 for shooting a bird at fans. Fans were calling him names and saying all kind of stuff to him. And he, flipped them a bird and got fined. And I want to bring that up, and I'll save most of this for our relationship tea topic. When you hear things being said about you, name calling, how composed are you? How composed can you remain before you get out of character? So I'm going to save that for our relationship tea topic. But Kyrie Irving plays with the Brooklyn Nets, and he has been fined $50,000 for flipping off. He just, was tired. And I'm sure the basketball players get tired of, them calling them names and stuff like that. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just, that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it, and it's a lot to do with proximity. I always felt like they need to, I know they make money with people having those courtside seats, but any other sport, they're not that close to the players. So, football, you can't really hear the fans when they yell out some of the, some of them on the sidelines, like you'll see them get kind of, jarring back and forth sometime, but most of the time they they're not as close. But at the same time, you got to remember, even as just as much as it's some, butthead, fans talking, you still got kids out there. You still got, so he could have went back word for word back at him, but the justice really what got him, I believe. I think the league is in agreement with, him as far as doing something about the fans, but when he did the flipping off,
he said some profanity too. He had some language to follow the flip off too. So
which that happens all the time,
Yeah. All this comes because he used to play this was in Boston, by the way, game 1. So it was in Boston.
Home.
He used to exactly. So he's gonna counter that craziness, and that's unfortunate. So, but we'll save this. How do you stay composed in that type of situation? We'll save that for the relationship tea. So, I'm done with sports. What do you have for entertainment?
So for this week for entertainment, I'm doing around the town segment as I was able to sit down and talk with Miss Melanie Polk. She's a herbal life coach and owner of Upbeat Nutrition of Mariana. So I got, knocked out a workout, went, and man, she's got some great information. And let's check it out around the town. All right, how's it going, everybody? It's Byron here with Bottom Line with Roni and Byron, and I'm here today with Miss Melanie Polk, owner of Upbeat Nutrition of Mariana. Hey, I just got through the workout and here ready to get me a taste of a nice tea. So please, Miss Melanie, tell us about Upbeat Nutrition and what you got going on here.
I'm the co-owner with my partner is Benita Mike. We both are originally from Dothan, Alabama. We own Upbeat Nutrition. Basically, our storefront is a hub just to show people that healthy doesn't have to be boring. If you're familiar with Herbalife Nutrition, that is what we serve. We're both independent Herbalife distributors. Our shakes and our teas, everything in here is Herbalife products. And our main focus is, like I said, to show people that healthy does not have to be boring. A lot of people follow us and see all the pretty colors, see the shakes, and see, these cool teas, all the layered teas and all. And that's what we want. We try to do bright, attractive pictures that so people can see, like, okay, that looks really good. And then when they come in here, sometimes, people are apprehensive, like, okay, it's a protein shake, it's going to taste chalky. But when they taste it, or when I tell them that the teas are sugar-free, they taste it and see, like, okay, this is good. And when I explain that it's healthy, that's just kind of like the icing on the cake. So all of our shakes are full or can be full meal replacements. They're 24 grams of protein, 21 essential vitamins and minerals. And it gives you all the benefits of a full meal. Our teas that a lot of people love, they're sugar-free, but they are clean energy teas. So basically, it's like a healthy energy drink. It's packed with energy supporting B vitamins, B6, B12, vitamin C. It has aloe concentrate in it to help with overall digestive health. So if you have some indigestion, if you have bloating, that aloe is going to really help with that. It also is a metabolism booster. So just by drinking these teas, you burn calories just by drinking them. We can pair these products together to help you lose weight. If you want to lose weight, you'll have 2 shakes a day in place of a meal. You eat a full balanced meal in healthy, high protein snacks. But we're wellness coaches, so you can come in here and we get you set up on everything. I help you plan your meals, all of that. I am still currently on my own journey, but I've lost and kept off over 35 pounds utilizing Herbalife products. If you want to gain weight, you'll have 2 to 3 shakes in addition to your meals. Again, we help you plan all of that. So just really showing people that healthy does not have to be boring. Healthy is not just carrots and broccoli. It's so many other things that you can eat that's healthy and that still tastes good. And I really try to get creative with these recipes. Like, I have someone come in here and look at the menu and say, well, how's a Butterfinger shake healthy? It's called a Butterfinger shake, but I'm using all the different products that we have, all the different shake flavors to make it taste like that. Like, where I'm using peanut butter protein. I'm using the different products that we have to make it taste like that. And then I crumble up half of a Butterfinger, like the mini size, on top, just to give you that kick. Because we're going to be realistic. This is a lifestyle change. Like, I hate when people say diet, because a diet to me means it's restricting and you can't do anything. So for me, I know I'm not going to say I'm never going to have fried chicken again. But I will say it's in moderation, because I know the results that I'm trying to get. So it's okay to have half of a mini piece of candy on top of your shake, because everything is done in moderation. But I do have people that are really, really strict, and I respect that, because I don't really do toppings on my shakes either. And we have options. You can get a classic shake that's just shake and protein, or you can do the specialty shakes that have the different toppings. But even the ones with the toppings, everything has been measured out, so nothing is over 300 calories. So I feel like that's really good to have a meal for under 300 calories, because that's what these are. They're full meal replacements. But that's pretty much it. We're here. We officially opened January 3rd. You know, we've been so excited working in the community, people coming in here liking it, people coming back, which is why we've extended our hours. We are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, and Saturday, 8 to 1. We ask everyone to, to stay tuned on our Facebook if we have like emergencies, because we are still family owned. We have kids, our lives are in Dothan. So, we go back and forth. So things may come up. And if we have to close, we try to make sure we post it on our social media. But we really try to make sure that we're not, we've hired some wonderful young ladies that live here in the area. So, they really help us a lot. And that's what we're doing. We're just trying to grow, expand, and really try to impact the community so people know, what we're doing.
Well, I tell you, that's great, because for me being diabetic, that was one of the things I realized. I was like, man, sugar free? Oh, I'm
Right.
there, and you're right. People all the time, they love to, stigmatize the word diet, when all it really means is what you eat, what's your daily, meal, and,
Right.
and your cycle. So I'm going to get me one of these Easter treats. You got some Easter treats going. So I'm going to try out the jelly bean, and while you make it, please describe to the people what you're doing and how you throw your specific spin on it. And as well, we're going to make sure that people see all of the great things that you got here at Upbeat. And listen, make sure you go on Facebook, you follow Upbeat Nutrition of Mariana. Also, make sure you contact Miss Melanie and get you, it's time to do a lifestyle change, especially the Black community. We gotta change, but everybody's got to change for the better. It starts here, and that's a hard thing. But once you get it here, hey, everything, the future is brighter, and you feel better. You look better, you feel better, and that's what we want to do. All right, so here we go. Jelly bean, y'all.
Okay, so what we have here is everything that we needed for the jelly bean tea. In this cup, we have the metabolism boosting tea, the lift off added energy, the B6, B12 vitamins. Vitamin C. We have the aloe concentrate in here, and we have the sugar-free sweeteners in here. Jelly bean is a bunch of different flavors. It's strawberry, kiwi, passion fruit, and pineapple. So this is what we call a layered tea, which means it's two different flavors. So that's the bottom layer, and then the top layer, this is the pineapple. We're going to pour that on top to give you that pretty two-tone color. And then we'll top it with just regular water. And this tea is what we call a loaded energy tea. It's loaded because it helps you burn calories, it gives you clean energy, and it has aloe concentrate in it to help you with your digestive health. So we hope you enjoy it. And this is our 24 ounce. You can also do a 32 ounce mega tea. That's $10. This size is $7. And on Mondays is Mega Tea Monday. So the mega teas are $9.
All right, so there you have it, Ronnie. It was a real good, moment to be able to get me a little refresher. That tea was actually delicious. Gave me a real good boost. So I advise anybody just going, Highway 71 at Old Plaza, the old Walmart Plaza, and get you some Upbeat. It's a lot of, the shakes taste just like shakes. Everything's sugar free. So make sure you check it out. Upbeat Nutrition of Mariana. It's pretty cool.
All right, so we're going to move on to our relationship tea topic. And today's topic, we're going to ask the question, how do you stay self-composed when someone is basically trying to get you out of character? How do you stay self-composed when someone is trying to get you out of character? And what I mean by that is, if, say, for instance, in Kyrie Irving's situation, he had the fans yakking at him, calling him all kind of names, saying all kind of things about him. He flipped them off, gave them some choice words, and then, of course, he gets fined. So how do you, Byron, stay in character? Because I know it's hard. There was a situation that happened this past week in my own family, and and I know it's hard to try to keep yourself intact and to operate in a good manner where you're, don't get dragged in the gutter where they are. And so you have to, take breaths and self-reflect before you react. I always tell people, try to, self-evaluate before you react, before you just spout off at the mouth, just kind of take a breath. Like, is this worth it? Because here's the key. And Byron, I've always been told this: never get in an argument with someone who has less to lose than you. Have anybody ever told you that?
Oh yeah. My mom
Never get in an argument with anybody that has less to lose than you. That's wisdom, because you can get all entangled in a situation and then you're losing a lot and they don't have much to lose. So who comes out as being the dummy?
I'll say this, for me, and that kind of, sidestep for me is spaces. I try to as much as I possibly can to keep myself out of the spaces where I would, that potential storm could occur. Because, a lot of people, when they see you doing good, see you doing well, that eats at them, and they'll do whatever they can to try to put a kink into that good armor, that everywhere they go, they're hearing people say good things about you, and oh man, I can't stand. So when they get a chance to, kind of get you out of your character, then it's like, see, I told you, he ain't nothing special, or she ain't nothing special,
Exactly.
And that's why I kind of limit, keep the circle, small, and the spaces of people that you hang around, make sure it's in a positive light, people that are trying to walk and move and do things like you're doing and elevate yourself. But even with that being said, it's going to come a time, and hopefully you will have been conditioned yourself, hopefully, over that time frame of being around, like-minded people and people that elevate you, so that you won't, just automatically go to 100 and lose track of, oh man, they got me now. Now I've lost all my bearing and I've made myself look like a fool, because they got me, so it's a hard thing to balance. I can't lie, because I'm the first one to tell you that, people who got me out of my character, and like I say, I at the end of the day, I said, well, I bet they won't do it again, but they still got me, so I try to stay out of those, I don't, it's certain and some friends of mine, they may take it the wrong way, but a lot of times I won't come to certain events, I won't come to certain things, just because you may not know it, but I know that somewhere along the line, as long as I'm there, or as long as I'm at this particular scene, something's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna, and whether it happens or not, I know the better chance of me not interact like that is if I'm not even there in the first place. So
you know what the biggest thing that gets people in trouble too, or entices people, or get people, that doggone social media. And like I said, that's what happened last week. Somebody saying something on social media and everybody gets entangled. I'm like, it's social media. People. I mean,
you can
anybody you want on social media, but follow them home. What you got? What you doing?
Can. I mean,
what do you have?
When you really look, if you really like sat down and looked at it, you could watch somebody's, like I could tell like whatever was going on with a person at that particular time of the week by what they post.
Exactly. That's true.
You could tell if somebody's got, some family issues, they got some issues with their significant other, they broke up, they back out. You could tell everything by what they post. And some people, you do too much. It's like we want attention.
Diary. They need a diary. Or they need to be on somebody's couch. Because honestly,
I was just about to say that. I would go talk to Dr. Highsmith.
Exactly. You don't air your stuff on. If you're frustrated, first of all, you don't air it on social media. You find your core group, or talk to the wall or the mirror, or whatever. Talk to God. That's the best person, and tell them why you're upset. And then secondly, these days, and I'm going to talk about these young generation, they want to blame other people for their misfortune. Like, why are you blaming other people for who you were born to, where you were born, why you were born, and how you were born? That has nothing to do with anybody but your mom, your dad, and God. So those are the people you need to confer to talk to
Mhm.
about why you're feeling like you're feeling, you know? Like
Mhm.
you can't
Yep.
have other people to be responsible for your emotions. You are an
Mhm.
emotional person by nature,
Mhm.
so you have to
Mhm.
learn how to manage your emotions. And some people
Mhm.
don't understand managing your emotions. You don't put
Mhm.
your
Well,
emotions on somebody else. It's not their
that
problem.
that and that and understanding where it's coming from, and it's just like when you go to the doctor, you say you got, my stomach ache. What did you eat? It's the same thing when you have these urges, you have these feelings. Know that it comes from somewhere and deal with it accordingly. Don't turn
Exactly.
around and use somebody else as your punching bag, because
Or
sometimes,
blame
like
somebody else.
Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee say, boys don't hit back. So you gonna pick the wrong one day. You'll pick that wrong moment to throw your frustrations on somebody that is not gonna come back on right. So it'll come back twofold. And or it can ruin you, as far as your professional career, as far as a lot of things, because you're not dealing with your issues properly. And
Posted on social
that's the
media,
same.
and employers
Yeah,
look at that. Different
yeah,
agencies,
yeah,
whether it's law enforcement, look at that. I mean, you have
yeah,
to be careful what you post on social media. And I
yeah.
don't
I
know if
mean,
people process that, or they don't, know how to process it. I don't know what the deal is, but it's a written law that certain things you just can't do on social media without
yeah.
consequences.
And that's the thing. They think, once it's on the internet, it's out there forever. So, and I guess they think it's got an expiration date on it, but it doesn't. And when you go to employers and you think just your application is what they look at, they're gonna go
That's
on,
not it. Yeah, it's not
social
your
media and
application.
find you,
Exactly.
and the friends and all the stuff you posted. Nah, we don't need that for our organization.
Yeah, you don't need to be a part of my company. So a lot of people are
Yeah.
probably not understanding. We need to stress this. If you're in job force, which most people are, if you're not working for yourself, you're working for somebody else. So understand that, number one. If you're working for somebody else, that means they are hiring you. That means they are in charge of giving out your check, which means they are going to look at who and what type of person you are, that they're bringing in a part of their company. So they're going to go to the first reliable source, which is what? Social media.
Social media.
I want this generation to understand that, even though, well, they ain't looking, you don't know. A lot of companies, that's the first thing they go to whenever they see an application, they go to social media and they see what kind of language you're using, what type of content is on your page. And they look at that and they'll just bypass it. And then people who are in business for themselves are looking at, trying to hire certain people. The first thing they're going to say is, oh, no, I saw what they posted. That's okay.
Because you represent the brand, you represent the organization. So
Exactly. Yeah. So people got to understand that. So, but again, don't let people get you in the gutter. That's what I say.
Yeah.
And you said something earlier, Byron, when you were saying how it's just how you have to separate yourself. Like, certain places you can't go. Well, it's likewise. Certain people's pages you just can't read. Certainly, when you see something that's contrary to what what you want to hear, what you need to hear, you need to just keep going. Because and what people don't realize too is, Byron, you ever heard that term of the anatomy of life?
No, tell me about it.
The anatomy of life is what you expose yourself to. That means what you're allowed in your ear gate, your eye gate, who's around you, the type of person around you. That will determine how you think.
That's correct.
Okay? How you
That's
think
true. That's truly correct.
will determine how you feel.
How you that was something my mom had taught me way back when I was in grade school, and she was like, "Hey, you're an A student. Why don't you hang with the kids that make straight A's and just see how it works out?" And I'll be doggone, I think I had made like my first B or first C or something like that, and I was upset, and I started hanging with the cats that make straight A's, and I picked it back up, not because they were helping me. Yeah, it's not because they were helping me, not because they were giving me answers, but because I knew, and hanging with them, it was a competitive thing. What you got? And I knew that I was just as smart, if not as smarter than them in certain areas. And so by hanging with them, my weakness got strengthened and vice versa for them. So we elevated each other. But if I hung with somebody who was making D's, guess what? You know,
right.
I can't learn nothing from them. You know what I mean? And that's just the fact of life. I mean, it may sound a little harsh, but you can't. There's no need to hang around somebody you can't learn nothing from. You know,
you fly with the eagles, you don't hang with the buzzards. I mean, that's just it. Not being harsh or think you better. Because some people quick to say she thinks she's better than. No, I don't think I'm better than. I just know I'm better because some of the stuff you do.
I was. I was about to quote. I was about to quote Jamie Foxx on Annie when the lady, you think you're better than me? Like, yes, I do.
Yes, I do. Exactly. Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. I think I'm better than you. You're right. I do.
Yeah, I do.
So, but let me get back. The anatomy of life, because this is very important. If people learn this, then I think they'll be better off. Again, what you expose yourself to, that's going to be how you think. How you think is going to determine how you feel. So if you're feeling bad, you need to say, what have I been thinking about? And go back a step further. What have exposed myself to? So how you think will determine how you feel. How you feel will determine your decision making. You determine your decision making by how you feel because you're an emotional person. Your decision making will determine your actions. How you make your decisions will determine your actions. Your actions will become your habits. Your habits will develop your character, and your character will develop your destination. That's the anatomy of life. Yes. And it works every time, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. Follow. You can look at somebody and look at the road that they're on and go back and say, well, what kind of people they're hanging around? And it all goes back to determine how they think, how they feel, the decision they're making, the actions they're taking, the habits, the character, and you can see where they are today. True statement.
True statement.
True statement. So, all right. Hope you guys learned something. I was on my soapbox today, but I just trying to educate my people that we have to do better. We have to do better. We have to do better. Yeah. So, all right. So, Byron, anything else that you have?
That is it. Be on the lookout. We're planning and prepping for the Emancipation Day Festival coming up in June 11th and 12th. Gonna do a parade on Saturday and a best barbecue rib cook-off and a best cake competition. So I'm looking for 2 more contestants for that best barbecue and 2 more contestants for that best cake. Hey, the competition is looking fierce, so you better be ready. But yeah, be on the lookout. We're gonna start, ramping up the advertisements and stuff like that. And Freedom Month is coming up with the Jackson County School District, so I'll be out there talking that, and we'll be getting a lot of segments about going on that stuff as well. So
okay, all right. Well, I too have a major announcement. I'm gonna save it for maybe next week. I may let people in on what I've been working on outside of Bottom Line with Roni Byron. So I'm excited, and that's why you just have to get rid of the clutter and keep it moving. All right, so that's gonna wrap our show up today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we really appreciate all of our viewers' support. And remember, when you know the truth, you can speak the truth, and the light shines brighter when it shines for two. We will see you next week.